Hey YouTubers, BTHV1 here. Bruce the Handyman version 1 because the handyman never does the same thing twice. So I've been trying to get this done for a few days now, and finally I got enough Christmas shopping done. It is, let me see, it's Tuesday the 18th today, so it's a week before Christmas, so happy Christmas everybody. And yes, like I said, we're going to get some knife sharpening done. So the first few things I wanted to say is this is a real passionate topic for a lot of people. So at the end of this video, we're going to have a sharp knife that you can shave the hair off your arm with, and I think that's sharp enough. There's lots of different ways to sharpen knives. I have my way, and other people have their ways of doing it. I don't think anybody's really wrong as long as you end up with a sharp knife. One of my best friends is a meat cutter. He's been a meat cutter for 37 years. And he can get a knife sharp just by looking at it, I think. He's so good. But for me, this is how I do it. It gets them really sharp and the edge lasts a little bit of a while. And also what we're going to do today is we're going to do it the inexpensive way, so that those of you out there who can't afford some of these products that I've got on the table here, these aren't really expensive, but money's tight out there and I understand that. So we're going to try and sharpen some knives the inexpensive way. So the first thing I'm going to do is mention, when you sharpen a knife, that should be the last thing you do with it, and then you put it away, so that the next time you bring it out, you've got a nice sharp knife to deal with. And I've got my field knives out here, and that's exactly what I do with them. I bring them home when I'm out hunting or doing my outdoorsman stuff, which I enjoy, and I sharpen my knives before I put them away. So I just brought a couple of my knives out here. I like the 6-inch folding lockbacks, but everybody loves different knives. I'm just going to show you what sharp means to me, and then we'll carry on and sharpen a couple of knives. So let me just come around the table and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So I think you can see that, the hair on my old hairy hand there. So this is my main hunting knife. It was very special. It was given to me 32 years ago, and if you watch, it should shave that off pretty good. Look at that, eh? And I know it's kind of gross, but that tells you that a knife is sharp in my book. And I think my friend Larry would even agree. And this is my hunting knife that I don't worry quite so much about. It's still a good quality, but it's not 32 years old. And this is another sharp knife here. You can see I nicked myself there. Don't forget to put some band-aids back in the corner when you're doing this, and always be very, very careful. So that gives people the heebie-jeebies, but that's what a sharp knife is. And before I put these knives away, I'm going to show you what I do. Even after doing that small procedure, just showing you what a sharp knife is, I have polishing compound here, and I'm just going to do what they call strop these knives one more time, and then I'll put them away. Good practice to get into. Never put a knife away if you've used it. Just be good to it, and they'll be good to you. So this is called stropping. This is a piece of leather that's been glued to a piece of oak. And this one's really old. I've had this one for, I don't know how many years. But stropping is, the leather absorbs the abrasive material, and then it's actually a jewelry polishing compound is what it is. And it's really good. So there we go. And I'm left-handed too, so that makes things a little more difficult for the audience. So what I've done is I've purchased, after I took my little course, I have bought some diamond sharpening stuff. So this is my field piece, and it's got a yellow on one side and a red on the other. And then I've got two pieces of leather with the glue glued on. I bought these. So that's what I use. And today we're going to try doing it the inexpensive way. And I'm going to use a piece of 600 grit sandpaper dry, a piece of 600 grit sandpaper wet, and then an old belt. Now I know we've all got, especially anybody who's over 30, we've all got an old belt in the closet that's probably a couple of sizes too small, so you can sacrifice one. And I just took one and hammered it to the end of this 2x4 and the other end of the 2x4, and I've got a nice surface to accept some rubbing compound. I don't know if I can, we're not going to use this rubbing compound because it costs money. So what I've decided to use is this cleaner, which is a powder cleaner, and also this liquid cleaner. It has a kind of a, they have a coarse action so that you can clean, you can clean arborite or porcelain or whatever. So I'm just going to finish putting this piece of sandpaper onto this 4x4. I'm going to use the smooth side here. Once again, I'm going to use my stapler on this side. Oh, naturally, just ran out of staples. I'll be right back. Well, that's hilarious. I obviously don't treat my staplers like I do my knives and put them away full. Well, who would? So anyway, I'm just going to finish attaching this on this side. Now, pardon me, not everybody has a carpenter staple. So now the other side, we're going to fold it over as tight as we can. Most people have something like this laying around the house. And we're going to use that. Okay, so we'll use those three things later. I've got two knives, they're very similar. They're a one-man Henkel. One's a paring and one's just a little cutting knife. I don't endorse any particular product. I don't get paid by anybody to endorse anything. But what I use a lot is I have a set of one-man Henkels that are my workhorse during when I cook. I do a lot of cooking. And I'll just show you something. Be right back. Here we go. This is my one-man Henkel. You'll see there's a little one guy there. This knife's used a lot. And then there's the two-man Henkel, which is a much better quality knife. And there we go. But there's the two men on there. And this is my turkey carving knife. So there's different quality of knives out there, and everybody thinks you have to have a really good knife, but it's not. You can sharpen, in fact it's easier to sharpen a cheaper knife than it is to sharpen a more expensive knife, but a more expensive knife will hold the edge a lot longer. So, in everyday beating around, I use my one-man Henkels. I've got quite a few of them. They're just in a block set. And then on special occasions, Christmas or Easter or birthday or something like that, I'll bring out my really, really good knives. And this was my main knife for many, many years before I got a little bit older and you can afford to have better things. And I have used this knife for everything, it's just used and abused, they say. So this is the one we're going to sharpen on the sandpaper along with this little guy. And then this little one-man Henkel, I'm just going to finish it up for you in front of the camera. And we'll get it sharp first on my way of doing it. So this is my red diamond stone. I put a little water on it. Oh, and by the way, this rubber mat here, that's nothing special. This is just an old floor mat out of an old truck I had. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get somewhere. And the more you use your head, which is the very best tool you've got, the better you'll do in life. So anyway, here we go. I'm just going to start with this knife here. It hasn't been sharpened for about a month now, so it's ready to be done. And I do about 4 or 5 strokes in this direction. I turn the knife over. And you're probably wondering now, what angle do you start at? Well, what I do is I push the knife a little bit and I raise it, and as soon as it starts to catch on the diamond, I lower it about half the distance, and that's the edge I use. Whoops, I got out of rhythm there. And of course, the longer knives are trickier. So with a longer knife, you have to pull and you have to pull the whole edge along there, because you don't really want to stop on each edge. So I think I'm getting somewhere. Now we're going to strop it. I always carry a clean piece of cotton when I'm working on my knives. I can actually even see there's an edge on there. We're going to take our piece of leather and our honing compound. It's called buffing compound. It used to be about that long. I rub it into the leather. Let's get rid of that. Don't need too many things around when you're using sharp knives, eh? So now you can see there's not very many dark marks on that leather for stropping. Now I'm going to strop this. The word strop, I believe, the old barbers, and they still use them, have that straight razor and they use that leather. Now that takes an art, because that piece of leather is moving back and forth. But for us handy kind of guys, we just use this. And this is what I learned on my course, and I bought these pieces of oak with the leather on my course. So I go 4 ways one way and 4 ways the other, and I pull it. I don't push hard. You know, you don't have to push hard, because that edge is microscopic, and if you push on it, you're gonna do more damage to it than actual sharpening it. Whoop, excuse me. This table is a new setup for me. I usually do it over I have a dedicated corner for sharpening knives. So each time I do it about 4 times. Now you'll see that this is starting to get dark, because the knife is leaving pieces of tiny pieces of metal into the leather. It's kind of interesting. So I think I'm getting somewhere here. I'm just going to do it a little bit more. And of course, the longer pull you can get, the better off you'll be. So now, pardon me, I'm just going to do a little check. So that knife is whistle sharp now. And that's not an expensive knife. That's just, you know, your average knife that you would see in a good department store.